Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel and we talk about them in a positive way. This is Saturday, but it also happens to be the last Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. So I thought we would take a look at 5 horror movies that take place around St. Patrick's Day. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so I thought we would talk a little bit about some movies that take place on or around St. Patrick's Day. Because let's face it, the Leprechaun movies aren't for everyone. That's a great franchise, but it's definitely not for everyone. Even though I personally enjoy them, maybe you're looking for that something different for your St. Patrick's Day party. When you have all your friends over and you're drinking green beer or celebrating however you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, you just want that movie on in the background that's a little bit different, that maybe your friends don't even know takes place around St. Patrick's Day. So I thought we would take a look at 5 movies that you could watch other than the Leprechaun franchise. So here they are, in no particular order. First up, we have the film Muck from 2015. Now, Muck is an American horror film and the directorial debut of Steve Walsh, who also wrote and produced the film. It had a premiere on February 26th of 2015 at the Playboy Mansion of all places and received a limited theatrical release on March 13th of the same year. It was followed by a video-on-demand release on March 17th. It stars Lachlan Buchanan, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, and Playboy Playmate of the Year 2012, Jacqueline Swayberg, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. It also stars Stephanie Danielson and YouTube star Lauren Francesca, as well as Kane Hodder. Now the plot is as followed. After narrowly escaping an ancient burial ground long forgotten and buried underneath the marshes of Cape Cod, a group of friends emerge from the thick, marshy darkness, tattered and bloody and lucky to be alive. They have already lost 2 of their friends in the marsh, presumably dead, and they stumble upon an empty Cape Cod vacation house alongside the foggy marsh and break in to take shelter. They soon discover, after one of them goes for help, that the marsh is not the only danger they face. Something worse is out there. And these unlucky travelers are about to spend their St. Patrick's Day trapped between 2 very different evils, forcing them, of course, to survive or die. Now, this film is billed as a horror comedy, and it's okay. You could do worse than to watch this film. You could probably do a whole lot better. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, that's not part of that Leprechaun franchise, then this one might be for you. I'm not going to tell you what the evils are or what types of things happen in the movie after this, but it is sort of a movie that is different, so you might enjoy it. Next up is 2012's Red Clover. Red Clover is also known as The Leprechaun's Revenge, no relation to the Leprechaun franchise, or alternatively St. Patrick's Day Leprechaun. And it is a 2012 made-for-television movie directed by Drew Daywalt. The movie was originally made under the title Red Clover, but was changed to Leprechaun Revenge when it was released on the Sci-Fi Channel in March of 2012. The title was switched back to Red Clover for its DVD release, and the film stars Billy Zane, who you might have seen in such things as Titanic. And Billy Zane being in this movie is something that makes it a little bit cool. It is part of the After Dark series of horror movies, so that also helps it in a way. Now, the movie stars Billy Zane as a Massachusetts sheriff who must save his town from none other than a homicidal leprechaun. Now, that's as much of a plot as you need for this movie. I don't want to give away too much. Now, the movie does have a leprechaun in it. It is something that is completely different from the Leprechaun franchise starring Warwick Davis, and that again is why it is on this list. You'll find that a lot of movies around this time of year do focus on leprechauns because that is what is sort of just the norm for St. Patrick's Day. As much as it is also about the drinking and the camaraderie of friends and the whole St. Patrick himself, it is also very much known for just the leprechauns. And I don't know when or how that started, but it is a very interesting movie, this one, and you could do worse than to watch Billy Zane in anything. So once again, I think this movie is worth checking out. Next up is the 1988 film Maniac Cop. And it is one that you probably have heard about before, and if you haven't, you owe it to yourself to check out this movie. It is an insane movie. It's pretty cool, and this is one of the ones that there is no leprechaun in, but it also does take place around St. Patrick's Day. The movie is notable for having Tom Atkins, Bruce Campbell of the Evil Dead franchise, as well as Richard Roundtree and Robert Z'Dar. Z'Dar plays the title character, a murderous police officer who returns from the dead to seek revenge on the people who wronged him. And that, friends, is sort of where this movie is. Now, it also spawned two sequels, Maniac Cop 2 and Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence. The official plot goes, a New York City waitress on her way home is assaulted and seeks aid from a police officer who breaks her neck. Over the next couple of nights, this maniac cop starts to commit more and more murders, prompting a lieutenant named McCrae, who was told by his superiors to suppress eyewitness accounts of the killer to pass information to a journalist in an attempt to protect the civilians. And you get a lot of excitement in this movie. It's one that I thoroughly enjoy, and if you want something drastically different from your St. Patrick's Day norm, then you definitely need to check this one out, especially if you've never seen it before. Next up is the 1976 film God Told Me To. And this film is a bit different because this film is one of those ones that you may have heard of, and if you haven't, definitely check it out. It is just an oddity, and that's why it has sort of become a classic over the years. A lot of people point to this movie as sort of an inspiration. And when you look at it, you can kind of see why, maybe, but it is very different and very odd. Now, God Told Me To was released in some theatrical markets as Demon. It is a 1976 science fiction horror film written and directed by Larry Cohen. And like many of Larry Cohen's films, this was also shot in New York City. So here's the plot. In New York City, a gunman perched atop a water tower starts shooting. And when he shoots, he randomly offs about 15 pedestrians. And when they ask him why, he says God told him to commit the crimes. So this is where we're at with that movie, and it does happen around St. Patrick's Day. I don't want to give too much away about this movie. It has some twists and turns, and maybe you'll see a lot of them coming. It is an older movie, but if you haven't seen this one, check it out. And if you're looking for that something different to watch this St. Patrick's Day, yeah, here it is. Last up on our list is Unlucky Charms from 2013. Now, Unlucky Charms, once again, sort of deals with a leprechaun, but this one's really strange. This movie's just very strange in general, and it's not quite as horrifying as you would expect, but it is sort of one of those oddity type of movies that you're either going to absolutely love or you're going to absolutely hate. The storyline of the movie follows 5 beautiful girls who vie for the chance to become the spokesmodel for diva Didi DeVille's new high-end lingerie line. And the claws come out when the competition gets fierce, but then all of a sudden, people begin to disappear one by one, and they soon find that they are competing for their own lives. Didi has invoked 4 mystical beings: the Cyclops, the Banshee, the Hobgoblin, and the mischievous Red Leprechaun. And this movie doesn't take itself very seriously. This movie isn't one of those that strives to be realistic in any way. This one is more for fun, and it's probably one of the more comical ones you're going to find this time of year that claims to be a horror movie. So that being said, these are 5 horror movies that you could be watching this year. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. If you have seen these movies, let me know what you thought about them. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Which one is your favorite? Do you have any other movies that take place on or around St. Patrick's Day, horror or otherwise, that you think really are worth watching this time of year? And if so, let me know in the comments what they are. As always, we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation as well. Then make sure you're hitting that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. And then Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.